Good morning. This is Navy Old Salt Gamer. Welcome to my conning tower, so to speak. So basically, I can sit in my chair here and monitor just about everything on the submarine. Up here I got the inside temperature, the pressure, the outside temperature, just so I kind of know what kind of day it is. My battery power in megawatts, so I got 28.8 megawatts stored in my batteries. My atmospheric ratio, I got 60% oxygen, 20% CO2 and nitrogen. My food and water tank, so basically my plants and drinking water. Oxygen pressure, volatile pressure, water storage. I've become convinced that the plants don't use water. Either that or they use such a tiny amount of water. This has not gone down at all. So I get either they use a minuscule amount or they don't go down. Only this water's going down because I've been drinking it. So my ultimate goal, of course, is to be able to stay in my submarine and be self-sufficient. And I'm not quite there yet, and the only reason I'm not there is I'm not producing enough volatiles yet in my, it just went up, in my winter greenhouse. So I'm still planting more of those, but it's getting better. I've also used a bunch of logic transmitters to get this data from all over the submarine, and I brought it in and sent it to on my console. So I have completed the interior decoration, I think, everywhere. So let's go inside my greenhouse here. I gotta put my suit on because it is definitely not breathable air in here. But I don't know if there's something wrong with this winter spawn, but it's been going to seed forever. It hasn't gone to seed. So what I'm ending up doing is taking one, when it grows and says it'll make two, I take one of them and plant it. So don't mind that. That's because I opened the door. It's trying to repressurize slowly. So I'm probably going to have to add another row at least. And I can do that. I've still got one more row with the grow light that I can add. But these are all thriving. I did have to do some precautionary things. That's not what I wanted. It does cool it off in here. So I had to put a bunch of air conditioners in here, registers in here. Radiators, excuse me. So I got it pulling out the cold air and putting it into the submarine, which is okay because my submarine AC has to run occasionally anyway. At some point, if I have to fill this up too full, I may have to actually heat my submarine. Last time, before I had just the bottom ones here. I had 4 on the bottom, and I came in here and it was 18 degrees, and these don't like to be below 20. They are still thriving. I think that one just took another step up. But there you go. There's my winter spawn. I've gone from 2 or 3 to 13, 12 to 12, I believe it is. 7, 8, 9, 10, yeah, 12. So I got 2 more I can plant. I am getting 2.07 moles consistently now because it's constantly being taken out of here. This was down a lot lower than that. It was down almost to 1, and that one just popped 2. But there you go, they're growing. I have to expand this more so I can get enough volatiles. I'm not quite there yet. Again, you cannot breathe in there. It's mostly nitrogen, but now there's volatiles and other wonderful stuff in there. Take this back off. Put this on so everybody can see. So, like I said, the control room, everything's going really well. This might actually be going up now. I'll have to keep an eye on it. 50-58. We'll check it at the end of the video here. So 50, of course, when the generator runs, it burns some of it, and then if the let's go up top here. As that burns, of course, this mixer is programmed to recharge this, so it drops when this recharges. It gets below 1 megapascal. I believe it goes back up to 3, so that'll take some more out of this. But there you go, up 50.05 or 5.05. I did take my nitrogen filters out of there because I really don't want to filter any more nitrogen out. I'm almost to the point where I just might, I don't know how much air I would put in here. That's quite a bit. Because winterspawn uses nitrogen, so I got to kind of watch, make sure my nitrogen doesn't go down too far. I have this pulling nitrogen out of my snorkel, but it's a very low amount. That's out of the atmosphere, so I don't get a ton out of that. And if I need carbon dioxide, I try and keep that at 20, so every once in a while I'll turn this on. Now the temperature, see, it's really cold out right now. I probably shouldn't do it right now because it's pulling in really cold air. I'm hoping that at some point I can turn my AC off, but can't. I'm not there yet. So here's where I set up the transmitters. You hear they make little beeping noises. I'm not sure if you can hear it, but this reads the pressures of the tank, and this is where I get my 28.8 megawatts from, and the pressures, and got one down here. It's reading the volume of this. This is the 177, which does not ever seem to go down. So I don't think the plants are using water. I don't know if that's a game issue. I did add 2 more batteries. I upped this charge to 80%. For some reason, this one stays at that level. All the other ones are at, well, that would be 80%. So it must be a little bit above. I'm not sure why this one isn't charging. I even pulled the, oh, it is charging. It's not discharging, but it's lower than all the other ones, which is kind of strange. Double checked, I do have it wired. I thought at first, well, maybe I don't have it wired correctly. Can't get behind it anymore. That's kind of unfortunate. I can get in here, but I don't know if I can see much. I might have to unplug that. It did charge. I saw it charging when I first hooked it up. So I guess that's just a matter of it draws the energy out of that one first, going to the game things. And, you know, I still got 28.8 megawatts, so I'm not sweating it too much. But like I said, there's my logic transmitters. It's the first time I ever used these. I guess I could go over how to do that real quick. I don't know if anybody's interested. It does get louder when you take the screen off. But basically, I call one the transmitter. So this is the the volatile pressure logic transmitter. And then I have a logic reader. I don't know which one it is at the moment. There's a logic pressure reader. There should be a writer around here somewhere too. There it is. So here's the reader, which reads the tank, or in this case, actually the pipe analyzer. And it reads that. Then this writer reads from there, writes to this. That's the only way I think you can do it. So then that writes to that, and you do that for every one of them. And then you go downstairs. Oop, I always do that. I always go the wrong way there. Then one of these will be, it's up front here, I believe, the vol pressure receiver. And then you have a, all you need is a reader here. So vol logic receiver, and then that you hook up to this. So this reads what's being transmitted. You can't, I don't think you can read it from the transmitter. I'm going to actually investigate that a little bit more. I may be able to read it to the console from the transmitter, but I had issues with that. So I read the receiver and then read the console to the reader. Did that make sense? Transmitter to receiver, the logic reader to console. That's the steps of that. And 5030, so it just charged. So that went down 20. So I don't think I'm producing enough. Eventually, I want to produce enough of this, and I may have to expand my winterspawn greenhouse. I'm not sure yet. I want to produce enough of this so I can use the volatiles and oxygen to actually recreate my water supply. That would completely isolate me from the outside, with the exception of, come back up here, replacing my nitrogen. CO2 I've already started. I haven't expanded it yet. I tried to color code these a little bit. Green is the growing area. I've actually started mushrooms, and I can expand the mushrooms to create CO2, so I can create my own CO2. I'm certain I'll have to expand that though. But at the moment, I can't create nitrogen. I know I could use a nitrolyzer. And I could never find these things. The list gets too darn big. Oh, there it is. So that uses nitrous oxide. Create nitrous oxide from oxygen. Nope, that's not what I need. How do I create nitrogen? I'm going to have to do some research from that, because that creates nitrous oxide. That does not create nitrogen. I'll have to do some investigating and see maybe there isn't even a way to create nitrogen. Interesting. There's got to be a way. They have all that covered. I just haven't found it yet. This is working really well. I have fine-tuned it to the point where I took the computer out of here. The only thing that concerns me a little bit is I do get spikes. There's 1 to 140. But it never seems to get above the 150s. If it was above the 150s, I'd be a little bit concerned, because that might start stressing. Now I can replace this glass with the heavier glass, which I could do. The problem with that is right now, this is all enclosed. It's outside air, so if I did that, I would flood all the outside air into here, unless I turn the fan on and completely made this a vacuum, which is possible. That may be the way I do it. Turn this off, go up on the top side, turn the exhaust fan on until this was no pressure, and then I could work on it without any harm. But everything's going real good. I haven't actually left the submarine in quite a while. I do have to mine every once in a while. What's up here? I may mine some copper, some iron, a few other things. I haven't needed steel yet, but I turned this on because I still got I don't know if I still do. Yeah, see, I still got a minuscule amount of pollutant in here, which I'm trying to get rid of. But this thing, it's flashing. Are these empty already? Why is it flashing? These portable scrubbers are always kind of a... I guess it's just telling me I have an empty filter. Now, I'm going to set up also a recycling system. I'm going to put a recycler and a centrifuge to start recycling things that I can recycle. I got quite a bit of extra, like the furnaces. I don't need those anymore, although I may eventually hook a furnace. That's one way I can get my nitrogen. I don't know if I want to go that route, though. I'll have to figure out how to get nitrogen out of this. We'll figure something out. But I got lots of room down here yet for expansion. Everything's lit. Everything's painted. Like I said, if I get tired, I can sit in my chair, monitor everything. 5015, still going down. So I got to expand my winter spawn. There, it just charged the line again, so now it's below 5,000. So it's definitely going down. I'm not making enough volatiles to offset my usage yet. It is going down slower. I'd like to see that go up to 5,000. But that's all being filtered in my tunnel spaces, which is... Oh, I did it again. And I think I can get to it from this side, but it's kind of tight up here. So this is where all my air from my greenhouse, I have it piped up here. And there it is, constantly being filtered. And then that goes into the CO2 line, and I need to paint that. And the oxygen line. Now, oxygen is not an issue because over time, I am making enough oxygen with my plants. And I have an oxygen surplus. So what I do, and it's right there now, when I get to, this gets to 92, and I'll automate this, when that gets to 92, there we go. What I do is I go up here to my blue floor, my engineering spaces, and I should automate this. Maybe I'll do this next. And I turn these on because I don't have them bypass. I can turn it on. That's why I took it out, because I don't want to filter the nitrogen. But what I'll do is I'll just suck some oxygen out of the air, because this is still going up. This was down to, when I first started the greenhouse, this was at about 140 moles. So I recharge my oxygen tank by just turning that on. And I clean this up a little bit, make it a little easier to get through here. And I try and keep 5 kilomoles in here, which is easily done. The pressure's lower up here because it takes a while for everything to filter through all the floors. So once that gets to 5 kilos, a little bit about there, then I'll step this off in reverse order so I don't overpressurize something. And then everything will balance out. And see how hard to put a dent in the oxygen, getting that back up to 5,000. That's kind of interesting, by the way. These things chirping. Kind of sounds like sonar. Not exactly, but pretty interesting, like sonar. Now, of course, down here I should have 5 in my oxygen. Oh, I'm sorry. It's 5 in the tank, but it's a 2,000 in the line that I got it measuring from. So this is actually measuring the pipe network, not the tank. The only one that's measuring the tank is that water. Everything else is the lines when it comes to oxygen, except for the air, of course. And this, like I said, never leaves 177. I don't think plants use water. But if I go up here now, and yes, there's a lot of running, but it's kind of the same on a submarine in real life. If I go up here, since it's getting ready to holler at me, I still have lots of, I have already made enough. I think it's this way. Nope. Oh, there it is. I saw it. Or was it? There it is. So, it says go to bread loaf, but then it doesn't go to bread loaf, does it? Yeah. So you can see I can make 5 more loaves of bread. I haven't farmed anything, in ages. So, I think they should probably nerf bread, which is my opinion. I have seeds here so I can expand these now. That's a good thing. I'll double this. I don't know if there's much else to talk about at this point. I am trying to become self-sufficient. I think I'm there everywhere, with the exception of volatiles and water, since I didn't drink. But if I drank, that would probably go down to 122. It might not. Depends on rounding. So if I grab that and drink this whole thing. Yep, we got 6% left, so we're okay. Now, eventually, they do have a little bit of a delay. Oh, they were 123. Should go down to 122. Or maybe it already did. You can see it did go down, so maybe it has to wait until the graph gets to the edge. That's probably what it is. So there is no delay. It's right here now. I don't know if you can see it. There it goes, 122. So yeah, I am losing water, losing volatiles. 49.85. So when I first started to set this set up here, I had 54.86. So I'm definitely not keeping up. And that was over a pretty long period. So that yellow light comes in really handy. It reminds me, hey idiot, suit up.
Power low.
I'm wondering if I can expand these yet. One, nope, nope, nope. I don't think they seed. I really don't. Which is kind of a pain because I'd like to use the seeds. Now, I was told you could take one of these out of there after they thrive and they would still seed, but even before I did that, I had these in seed for, thriving towards seeding for a really long time. And they never came up with seeds, so, I don't know. So what I've just been doing is when they mature and I get 2, I just take one of them and transplant it. I really wish I was making more volatiles. 0.2 moles consistently in here. And there's my pipe up. So this is the fun episode. I'm not going to end it until I'm self-sufficient, and then I'll see what I can do after that. So it's going to be a little bit, I think. There's just filtering in and filtering right back out. Now, I could have ran 2 lines and had 2 in there, but it was easier just to put it into 1 line. And by the way, somebody, and I apologize to whoever it was, told me how to fix this. And I didn't upgrade that yet. There it is. I can tear this out because somebody told me you just put dB on there. So let's turn that off and make sure this is off so it doesn't keep pumping. Okay. And then bring my computer down. So he's import first. He said instead of putting this to D0, you need to put it to dB. Load. And he said that should work. Yep, that should do it. Now I can put the chip in here and this should work. Yep. Seems like it. Seems like it. Okay, well, we'll have to monitor that, but it's definitely shutting it off. R0. So that should be letting this room pressurize to 100. Why isn't it turning on? Start R0 pressure output. I could change this to... I'll monitor this, but let's change this to mode. That should turn it on and switch it to idle instead of off. That'll make me feel a little bit better. Because technically, pressure output. Give that a shot. It seems like that worked though. So now, if I turn this on, it should stay on. And it does, because now it's only switching between idle and active. So no more clicky clicky. But here we go. I mean, oh, here we go. I can transfer one of these. So I'm going to move another one. There we go. I gained another. And I guess I got to get to work because these two are going to come pretty soon. And then I'm going to need to make more. But there you go. There's an update. Tell me what you think. Remember, subscribe and like. This is a fun episode. I'm enjoying this. And believe it or not, this is actually pretty realistic to what they do in a submarine. With the exception of growing your own food, which, if they had enough room, I guess they could do. But, you know, it's just feeding me here. You'd have to feed about 100 people on a fast attack submarine. And that could prove to be pretty interesting. 25, what is it out here? 25, it's definitely going down. I'm going to turn this off. 25.5 up here. I'll see if I can cool the whole submarine now with just the winter spawn, because I think I can. See what happens. Alright, I think that'll be it for this episode. It's progressing well. Hopefully by the next episode, and I went the wrong way again. I do it every time there. Hopefully by next episode, this will be going up instead of down. But I think I may have to do at least 2 more rows of winter spawn. We'll see. I may have to do more than that. And I'm only hoping I can do this. But I'm only hoping I don't have to expand this. I can go back to the wall. So I can expand this to all this area if I had to. It'd be kind of easy to expand it, actually. Just frame it out and then pop the wall out. We'll have to keep an eye on this and make sure that this is actually working the way I intended it to work. Kind of an interesting plant. It creates its own light. Kind of neat. I've never used winterspawn before. Okay, so this is a Navy Old Salt Gamer. Again, tell me what you think. If you have any recommendations on how I can make nitrogen without using a furnace. Because what I would do in a submarine is, if I decided to do a full-length deployment, I would stock up on ingots. I would make about 6 or 7 or more in the storage room here, and then I would just take them off the shelf as I need them. I'd love to clean this area up. How's the pollutants? Hey! Now just because it's empty on that floor, the pollutants. Oh, maybe I finally got the pollutants out of there. Let's go down to the bottom here. Go to the far end here. I think I did. The air is clean. I can turn this off now. The problem is I can't open this inside, because if I open it, it just releases the air. That's the problem. I'll have to take it to what they would call the TDU room, the trash disposal room, break it down, and launch it into the sea. That's exactly what they do, unfortunately. Not like you can burn stuff on a submarine. So let's see, one more item here.
Power low.
Check the pressure in here. It's still good. We got 284 moles of nitrogen in here, 285. So it looks like it is running. You could tell by the air. Yeah, the air is flowing out here, so it did turn back on. So that did work. Thank you for your advice, whoever that was. I have used them in the past, but I couldn't remember. So now I can pop that open, take this out, use that for later, take a couple of these out, and yes, I'm going to go ahead and, I hate doing that here because it resets my greenhouse because of the way I have it set up. So you know what, I'm just going to leave it. Those 2 coils aren't really worth it. There it is. I don't know if you were at the beginning, but I have this set up on a timer, 600. I have it sleeping for 600 and then sleeping for 300. So it turns on 10 minutes and turns off 5. But if I reset this in any way, it resets that. So if it's at the end of a light cycle, if it's 500 seconds into a light cycle and I reset it, then these start taking a hit. They start taking light damage because now they've been on for, instead of 10 minutes, they've been on for 20 minutes. And that has happened a couple of times. They've recovered to thriving, but I'd rather not do that. Ooh. Got another one. And now I definitely have to expand down here. 20 degrees, and I may have to put more vents in here. That won't be hard to do though. I'll just run the pipes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. So I have to run the pipes on both sides and put some radiators out there, and I got to keep this cool. Yeah, see, it's going down again. I think 20 degrees is the best. I might be wrong though. It's responding alpha. Temperature. Ideal is 20. So I could go under, and it can go to 0. But then this, after you go under 20, then they grow moderately well. They don't thrive. I'd rather have them thrive. I went back up one. Oh, it did go to 100 kPa in here too, so that is working. Thank you very much, whoever that was. And and I could look your name up, but I did respond to your comment. I just can't remember your name. Sorry about that. All right, so you can see my control room here. Take a load off. Take my helmet off. And I'm down to 49.25. Still losing. There may come a time where I may have to go out and get volatiles, and that would make me angry. I don't want to have to bring ice in to replenish things. I want to get my winter spawn up and running. And I'm almost to the point where I might go out and see if I can find that trader again and buy more from him. But it took me like 3 days just to find that guy. And I'm not talking 3 game days. I'm talking 2 or 3 actual days and while I was building everything. Okay, Navy Old Salt Gamer, have a good day, like and respond, and I'll see you in a couple days where hopefully I'll be at least producing enough volatiles where I won't be in the negative. Water-wise, that's going to take longer. How's the temperature? It's good. All right, have a good day.